Yo, what is up guys? This is Pedro here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about if Washington should trade for Pro Bowl wide receiver Allen Robinson and even Pro Bowl wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. If you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. So news came out about both of these wide receivers today from a bunch of different sources. One, for Allen Robinson, there was actually a lot of different sources, and it was a lot more credible than the Odell Beckham Jr. information. We'll talk a little bit about Odell, but mostly it's going to be about Allen Robinson and possibly trading for him. So this is basically what happened today. Allen Robinson has taken the Chicago Bears out of his bio and deleted all of his Bears photos on his Instagram and his background picture too. You guys can see here when it loads up, and you might just say, oh, that's just social media, it really doesn't matter. Well, his team, I will show in a little bit, we're also talking about it on Twitter, wanting the Bears to give him an extension. This is what happened right here. Tariq Cohen, Bears running back, said #extend AR, referring to Allen Robinson, and he is in the last year, I do believe his last year of his contract, and he wants more money, and you know that isn't much of a problem. We have a bunch of cap space, and we tried to go after Amari Cooper in free agency. We wanted to give him a lot of money, so you know what, we can probably give Allen Robinson, I think we offered Amari Cooper like $22 million a year. Give Allen Robinson less than that, but still a decent amount of money, because the cap's going to keep going up and up after this year. This year might plummet a little bit just because of the situation, but we'll see. So if you want to look at his stats, well, first off, this is what JP Finley said: if Allen Robinson is available and I was in charge of the football team, I'd be offering that extra third rounder from the 49ers in that Trent trade to Chicago. I would absolutely do that. You guys have seen how bad our wide receiver core was in the game. Outside of Steven Sims and Terry McLaurin, who did play pretty good, everyone else just couldn't create separation, couldn't get open. And if you put Allen Robinson on the outside opposite of Terry McLaurin, they're gonna have to double. They can only double team one, so that means one of those guys is on one-on-one coverage, and it's gonna help out Dwayne Haskins a lot. He's also a bigger target. If you guys, let's look at his stats real quick. So you know, this year only played one game, and obviously he still played pretty good, 74 yards. But if you look at last year, he had 1,147 yards, 11.7 yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns, so played really well last year. And the year before, he was a little bit hurt, but he got over 1,000 yards with Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback, which is pretty impressive. And in 2015, he got 1,400 yards with Blake Bortles as his quarterback, so that is very good. He hasn't played with really good quarterbacks, and you know what? Dwayne Haskins might not be great yet, but I think he's on his way to being a decent quarterback to good quarterback in the NFL. In the next couple of weeks, he's going to start progressing, and then hopefully in the coming years, he becomes a top 10 quarterback. And I think that would be really good for Allen Robinson. So, I mean, who knows if he truly is available? I'm sure he is asking, if he's obviously asking for an extension, and if they aren't giving it to him, which it seems exactly like they aren't because he's mad, then he probably will be requesting a trade, or he might have already requested a trade. And if he did, I would not be opposed to giving them a third-round pick, or giving them, you know, if a third-round pick is too little, give them a third-round pick in Ryan Anderson, because our wide receiver core, like I said, is not very good at the moment. And not only, like I said, are you adding Allen Robinson's skill set, but you're adding the guarantee of one of those wide receivers being covered by only one person versus being double covered, or having someone like Darius Slay or good cornerback on them. It's going to help out the offense a lot more, and I think it automatically brings our wide receiving core to at least an above average core. I mean, Allen Robinson, Pro Bowl wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, Pro Bowl level wide receiver, and we'll see what Steven Sims does, but I mean, he still had 50 yards the other day, played okay, so I think it'll help out. Not only is he going to bring 1,000+ yards to the team, but he's also going to help out the other wide receivers by drawing a double coverage to him. So I personally would try to go after him, get your quarterback some help. And the NFC East is wide open this year. I know it's only week 1, but we're 1-0, and the Cowboys didn't look that great against the Rams. The Giants did not look good at all. I mean, we're not worried about them. They're still rebuilding just like us. And the Eagles obviously didn't look good at all. I think they're going to turn it around, but it's going to take a while because of their injuries. So I think 9 wins could possibly even 8, but probably going to be 9, could win the NFC East this year. And if we are really trying to win, going after Allen Robinson could help us do that a lot. So this is what JP Finley said. I'll kind of skim through it, but Robinson took all references to the Bears off his social media, obviously right there. But Odell Beckham also, that information came out today and was only by one reporter, and they kind of said, a lot of other people kind of refuted the report and said it wasn't true. So I wouldn't look too much into that. But so Robinson could follow the Green Bay Packers account and like every tweet they put up, and he'd still be under a Bears contract. So pretty much, we can't be looking into it too much just because it is social media. But I think it definitely, there's a strong possibility that he wants to be traded, and especially if they can't give him a contract extension. So something to monitor in the next few days. Keep an eye out on that. But Allen Robinson's a big target. If you look at 2015, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, was an absolute beast. Real quick, we'll talk about the Odell report and then talk about the receivers that we brought in yesterday to work out that, that news could come out any second now that we sign one of those guys. So this guy, Mike Francesa, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, he said, I hear Browns who are clueless are looking to trade Odell. He has 127,000 followers. Doesn't mean necessarily that he is a good source, but has some credibility to him. But Odell, I rather have Odell Beckham. I think Odell is going to be a little bit more expensive trade-wise, and he hasn't had the best years last year and starting off this year, and he kind of brings that off the field drama. He definitely is the better wide receiver, him versus Allen Robinson, but I would rather have Allen Robinson for the price, and you don't have that off the field drama. So that's personally for me. Even though Odell has some chemistry with Dwayne, that's what I would do in here. So we tried out about 7 wide receivers and at quarterback Jamar Smith for a workout. It could be, I heard, he kind of runs like Kyler Murray, so it could be to simulate Kyler Murray in practice. We also are working out a few other receivers, including Hakeem Butler, who was a former 4th-round pick, I think, in 2019. And, he played at Arizona State, I believe. Actually played really good, and then in his first year in the NFL, broke his hand, was on IR, didn't play at all, and then got cut this year, and if it was a normal or a decent or normal wide receiving core, he probably wouldn't have been cut, but their wide receiver core is pretty good in DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella, so they didn't even have that much room, so that's probably why they cut him. So we'll see what happens with him. I think it would be a decent guy to put on the team, at least for potential wise. I think he could serve as some decent potential, at least on the practice squad. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video, and let me know down below in the comments, first, who would you rather have, Allen Robinson or Odell, and if you even would want one of the two, and then what would you give up for either one. And just keep in mind, we would have to give Allen Robinson a contract extension, or else it wouldn't be worth it because he would only play for us this year. So you know what? I personally would give up our 3rd from the 49ers. It's going to be a late 3rd, and if we really need to, give up a late round pick. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.